time to see what the wizards are up to.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. We have a few things to share.
Yeah.
Hope
everybody had a good week.
Stuff. Looks like we have a comment looking for some Hero Realms news. I'm not sure what we have about Hero Realms, but sure Rob can come up with something.
I'll be interested to see here if anybody has been playing in the beta and has feedback for how, what you thought of the updates that we did. I would love to hear about it in the comments. So if you give us your thoughts on the balance changes.
Yeah, I would also love to hear. I'm just going to say that we have a leak in our home, a plumbing issue. So if the plumber shows up, one of us, is probably me, is going to pop out to go show them where the leak is. So I'm just letting you know ahead of time that one of us might be popping out. So we'll go ahead into our slides. So I just wanted to congratulate Rick B. He's won all 5 character packs. I love this piece of art. I don't know if I've seen that piece before. And we have, every week we have a contest. This week we will be giving away this awesome Enforcer mech playmat. Saffron will post in the comments below how you can enter. And we also always post around on our social media. So, and that's also usually the way that you enter. So if you follow us on social media, you won't miss these contests, and we will ship anywhere in the world. So I personally am a bit spoiled. Unless when I'm traveling, I don't have a play mat, but when I play at home or at conventions, I always have a play mat.
They're nice. They're nice.
Yeah. So I really like it.
And Starms has so much amazing art that we can really have.
Yes.
So many cool play mats.
So I just wanted to share this because I just thought the name of this live stream channel was so fun. Rickrolled. This is Rick May's channel, and he actually streamed this past Saturday playing Sorcerer Endbringer with Peter Schultz, the designer of Sorcerer, and also a very interesting, funny person to watch chat about a million things. So I'm sure they chatted a lot as well. And they got about halfway through, and then they're going to have a part 2 this coming Sunday at noon. Or maybe it was Sunday when they streamed this past weekend. So you can watch the video on Rick's channel, and this coming Sunday you can watch part 2. So if you want to come join them in the stream and chat with Rick and Peter, that would be awesome. And if Sav or Rick are on and want to post the link below, that would be fantastic too.
And that link will totally take you to the podcast, not to a music video. We promise.
Yeah, it's totally a Rickroll video. Maybe that's why, I'm not saying anything. But yeah, I don't know why I really like that name. So let's see, a couple more things. I just wanted to mention for anyone who's out in the Las Vegas area or plans to travel to Las Vegas to Dice Tower West, conventions are still pretty small for us, but we will be sending 2 people, CJ and Connor, to run a demo table there. So we'll be demoing our games. They'll probably, I know CJ has a copy of one of the Robot Quest Arena prototypes. They'll probably bring 1 or 2 of our prototypes as well. So definitely stop by and say hi if you're there. And we've never gone to that show before, so it'll be interesting to see how it is. If anyone else has been, let us know if there's anything we should know, or if there's any fun places you think CJ and Connor should check out while they're in Vegas. I don't know if they've ever been to Vegas before. So, and also Rob and I guess there isn't a slide on it, but we'll be at the Gamma Trade Show in March, which is I believe the week after Dice Tower West, and used to be in Vegas and now it's in Reno. So the nice thing is there's not really a lot to do around there. So you get to see all the people at the convention because we pretty much hang out at the convention hotel. But that's the industry show where a lot of game store owners and other publishers. And this year they're also having media come as well. So it's not going to be nearly as big as usual. And there's a lot of requirements to be able to go, but we're looking forward to connecting with some of our partners and friends in the industry. Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to talk about this next?
All right,
slide,
so
Rob?
a lot of people have been asking about our card gallery. So we have galleries where you can see the various Star Realms, Hero Realms, Epic cards, Sorcerer cards, etc. So basically, we've added a whole bunch, 230 new cards to our Epic card gallery. So if you want to be able to see more of the Epic cards, if you want to look up a card. We have added to the gallery, so we have a ton of cards available in the galleries now.
Sorry, let me
Just checking out this comment.
That was a mistake. I clicked on that, but we do have a bunch of comments about Hero Realm. So why don't you talk about this Hydra token first?
So the Hydra, so one of we have a solo cooperative challenge, the Hydra challenge. And with the Hydra challenge, the Hydra has these heads which are represented by cards. And a lot of people wanted to have basically a nice visual for starting the stack of cards for representing each Hydra's head. So we made up this card. We put it on our on a PDF on our website with permission for you guys to make copies for your personal use. So if you feel like it, you could print this out and for your Hydra play. And we'll also probably put this up on like drive-through cards or something. So if you wanted to get like physical card copies, we make them available. But this is a free PDF. You can download it, print it out on card stocks, leave it up, and have Hydra heads for that. So that's
excited.
Nice.
And we do have a few comments, feedback on your rebalancing, Rob. So let's hit a few of those. Testo wants his Ruby back.
I understand.
My wizard is poor. That is all. Some compliments for the spiked mace buff. All right, Philippe has an error after updating against the cleric, for example. So Philippe, if you can send the details of your error and anyone else that has an error to support@wisewizardgames.com. We do try to address errors that are posted on our Facebook pages and groups, but the best way to get an answer is two things. One, in email support or in Discord, because in Discord is where our digital team is active. And also Joel often shows up here. So
he's not on today, but
he's not on today. So mentioning here is not a terrible idea, but if you can give details on what the error was and also what platform you're on, generally, sometimes it's different. Sometimes we get errors on some platforms and not others.
Exactly. So basically, if you give that information, they'll be able to help you out. Now, if this was an old game, a game pre-update, those would be broken by the update itself. But if you're having trouble with new games, then absolutely, ping support and give them those details, and if you can jump on the Discord channel for Hero Realms, that's an amazing place to ask and get very quick feedback.
Yeah, and Philippe says he's not an expert to tell us whether it's balanced or not. But for anyone who hasn't tried it out yet, just a couple things. Some people I know had some issues when they first upgraded to the upgrade, and I suggested, because I saw other people suggest this, to log out and log back in, and that seemed to work for some of the issues people were having. So that was what I would tell you would be like.
This is our low tech support section.
Turn off your phone, turn it back on again. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so if you have an issue just with the release working at all, log out of Hero Realms and log back in. If for some reason, you don't know your password, we can also help you with that. Use it with the support team as well. So yeah, but thanks everyone for playing and for the feedback. It really helps us a ton.
And in the coming weeks, we're going to be gathering stat data for all the different character classes, and we'll see. Okay, like are certain ranger builds still getting way too good win percentages? Are the clerics win percentages up to where we want to be? Is the wizard suffering too much with this update, or the win percentages right where we want them? So we're gonna continue to look at that, and the the balance update process will never end in Hero Realms. Like, we will continually look at how the various characters are doing, how all the items are doing. If there's a treasure card which nobody's picking, or people who do pick it have a bad win percentages, we will we will be changing those cards, making them more balanced, etc. All right, let's see. What Sorcerer
This is
Endbringer
not
Ballot
going to
is
take
the
a
deck
long
building?
time at
All right,
all.
so Sorcerer is it's a phenomenal game. It plays kind of like a trading card game meshed with like a tabletop war game. You build a deck at the beginning of your game by choosing a sorcerer, which is who your character is, a lineage, which is what kind of evil magic you've inherited, and a domain, which is where you've been training and gathering followers. And you take those 3 sets, you put there's a skill or ability, a skill card on each one. You put it in the table in front of you. You shuffle the rest together. That's your deck. So deck construction is super fast. Just pick 1, pick 2, pick 3, shuffle, go. And you'll be battling with a base set. You're battling over Victorian London. And you're playing evil sorcerers, summoning up terrible monsters. You're deciding which parts of the city to put your monsters in when you summon them up. And when they battle, you roll dice to determine the outcome of the battle. So you're playing cards on the table and then rolling dice to resolve the combats, and damage is tracked with little damage counters, etc. Really beautiful artwork. You can see it over our back here between me and Debbie. The art is amazing. Components are beautiful. And the Endbringer, that's a newer set. We've got it up on, we did a Kickstarter for it. It's all up on Tabletop Simulator now. And we are in the process of incorporating all the feedback we've gotten from backers based on the content that we put up on Tabletop Simulator, sort of show our work. Okay, here it is. What do you guys think? So we've gotten a lot of feedback from the backers. Thank you for everybody who's given feedback. Peter and I have been doing regular meetings and going through and tweaking and adjusting, putting clarifications in the rules and adjusting cards where we had like typos or errors, etc., and incorporating all your guys' feedback. So that's going to be the Endbringer set. Itself has solo and cooperative play where you're playing against a powerful demigod, and you're teaming up with other sorcerers to battle against it. And in that Kickstarter for it, we also had tons of new character lineage and domain decks, so all kinds of new sorcerers you could play. We are, as I said, all that stuff's on Tabletop Simulator, and it's going to be coming. We're taking all the information we've gotten from that feedback from that, incorporating it to the cards, and then we're going to be printing those and sending them out to backers hopefully very soon.
Yeah, and you can watch Endbringer in action again on Sunday
yeah.
at noon Eastern time with Peter and Rick. And there's also lots of videos on our Kickstarter pages for Sorcerer and for Sorcerer Endbringer. Also, I'll mention that one of the things Rick asked me for, and I need to make sure this happens before he does his stream on Sunday, is late backing's closed for Endbringer, but I will put up a pre-order. So if people miss the Kickstarter, but they want to, get in on Endbringer and put in an order, so when it eventually comes to retail, they can get it. We'll make that possible too. Oh, we got a comment here. Let's see. No. Okay, so Rob, do you want to talk about the next
we have
set that's
a update coming for Star Realms Digital. This is going to be the tech update. So we're going to be adding the new High Alert tech cards, and we also have some features we're adding to the app. So we have a new menu screen, as you can see here. So you'll be able to see more games at once. So if you've got like a game you want to find, you get a larger group of games that you'll be viewing at one time. We also have a news feed at the top. So like when one of your friends does well, finishes an arena run, wins an arena run, does well in a tournament, etc., that information will come up in a little news feed at the top. And we also have at the a little more information on the bottom. So basically, you've got, of course, the new game button if you want to do a challenger or a new game. We've got the arena will tell you, the arena button will tell you what the arena is, and the tournament button will tell you about. It will also give you the name of the next tournaments that's coming up. So if there's a format that you particularly like, you'll be able to see it when it's the next thing up. Now, if you click on the tournament, the next tournament button, it will bring you to the overall tournaments page. So you'll be able to see that the next tournament will be the first thing on there. But if you want to look at an older tournament, you'll be able to click on that, or an upcoming tournament, you can click on one of those. And there's I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but there's a really nice feature in the tournaments where you can see and watch past games. So if you click on a tournament, you can click on the rounds button in the right, and you can click on any match in there, and you can watch a replay of it. So you can, if you had a tournament that you played in and you want to sort of check out your play and see if you made any mistakes or something like that, you can watch your old games. If you want to see, how the person who won a tournament did, you can go back and you can watch round 1, round 2, round 3, all the way through to see how how each game went. I missed that comment. What is it?
Will you accept a bribe to give the wizard a little more money? Maybe replace
yeah. So so basically the balance on the wizard is tricky. Like basically we were a little concerned with the wizard's performance. We added the ruby and replacing a gold, and that basically brought the win percentages higher than they should be. And it may be that, like, replacing the spell components with a ruby, or adding a second spell components or something like that might be necessary. But basically the answer to that is going to be in the numbers. Like basically, if the wizard is performing as it should, be basically about 50-50 in the greater universe of characters, then perfect. If it's performing below that, then we're going to have to figure out some kind of buff. And if it's performing above that, then obviously we need to either buff up the other characters or nerf down the wizard. But we'll see how it is. I think it's going to do well at this range, because some of the other characters have gotten a little bit of been nerfed a little bit. So I think that the wizard's going to be in a good spot, but we'll see. We'll trust the data on that one. Okay, you can throw up the next one. So challenge screens. We've added a thing where you can tell your person you're challenging what the challenge is for. So, for example, let's say you're playing in a tournament from like the Facebook group. One of the options is tournament. Or if you just want to play a game for fun, you got the just for fun thing. So you can give a little message as to what the challenge is for. This will be most helpful for the people who are running and participating in tournaments that are run not through the app, but through like social groups like Board Game Geek or the Star Realms fan Facebook page, etc. We love that you guys are running tournaments on your own and doing all kinds of cool stuff with like the all the different formats people make up, like dodgeball, etc. So we wanted to put a little bit of support in the app for you guys, so you could make it clear when a challenge is just for fun, or when a challenge is for one of the sort of offsite events you're playing. Awesome. So and then of course the main thing about the update is the new tech cards. So tech cards, they work like bases. Basically, they're horizontally printed cards. And they go into the area where your bases go, your bases and gambits go, and they can be used once per turn, just like a base. However, once you have tech, it can't be destroyed. So when you buy a tech card, it goes directly into play. So, for example, the shield card allows you to once per turn pay a trade to gain an authority. And if this card was in the market, you buy it, it goes right into your into your base area. It stays there. You can use it once per turn for the rest of the game. You never have to use it, but if any turn that you want to use it, it's available. And some of the tech cards are inexpensive and have small effects like this one. Others can be pricier and have have more significant, more powerful effects. So the tech update is the tech cards are really fun to play with, and there are of course a bunch of them in the new update. And here's another example of a tech card. The guidance card allows you to scrap a card in trade row, so you can get some nice trade row control out of that one. So yeah, tech cards are coming to the app in this new update, and it should be a lot of fun to play with.
Yeah, and in terms of timing, I think we're looking at next Wednesday for the release, but we'll communicate on social media and other things when the exact release will be. But it looks like it'll be Wednesday morning of next week, which is very exciting.
And of course, as with all our Star Realms updates, when we do that update, there will be a new campaign chapter in there as well.
Let's see a layout similar to that for Hero Realms character selection.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cool. So we're trying a bunch of new stuff with the Hero Realms app and in the in the Hero Realms layout. And some of the features from Hero Realms are going to make it over back into Star Realms as we try different stuff out and the things that people love. Sometimes the architecture that the games are made of doesn't allow certain things to transfer over because obviously the Hero Realms has a newer new architecture that we built for it, but a lot of those things like the user interface stuff we can port over if people really like it. Are there any plans to for new ancestry cards for Hero Realms? So not in the short term. So the next stuff that we have coming for Hero Realms physical we have 6 new character classes, which we've talked about previously. We have a dungeon set. You can see over Deb's head. Yeah, here's the new 6 new characters. We've got the druid, the bard, the barbarian, the alchemist, the monk, and the Kickstarter exclusive necromancer. So those are 6 new character classes coming to Hero Realms. We're going to have a Kickstarter for Hero Realms called Dungeons, the Hero Realms Dungeons Kickstarter. Probably this summer. As I've mentioned previously, we're changing how we're doing Kickstarters so that basically we're getting. We used to do Kickstarters after we had done the initial design, but before the development, and so like previously when we ran a Kickstarter, we had more cards to make, more testing to do on the cards that we did have, more art to make, etc. So basically we had a really solid concept of how it would play, like a first draft prototype to play, etc. But there was significant more work to be done on things, and we liked that because we could get feedback from people and sort of change the path of the product along the way. However, we tend to be perfectionists and go over things again and again. So it's hard for us to say exactly how long that finishing part will take. Also, COVID has thrown in a lot of curveballs on how long production takes, how long shipping takes, how long it takes to get things into ports, etc. So basically, there were just too many unknowns, and some of the Kickstarters were just stretching out too long from when we ran them to fulfillment. So what we decided to do is change how we do things, get stuff to we're basically have all the files ready for the printer. We've designed everything. We're happy with how it is, and then do the Kickstarters. It'll mean a little less backer feedback on that particular product. However, the feedback you give, we can obviously apply to future products we make. But it will mean much faster timelines between when we do the Kickstarter and when stuff gets delivered. So the Kickstarter for Dungeons, which we were looking at doing earlier in the year, earlier last year, we are going to be doing this summer, and it's got those 6 new character classes plus an all new market deck. And it also has a new solo and cooperative campaign. So we're really excited about that new stuff. So new ancestries, not in this set, but we know that it's something that people are interested in. So down the road, also content that we have like journeys and ancestries, etc. All that stuff, of course, will be making its way into the Hero Realms digital app over time. Any ideas for potential upgrades to boss deck to make it 1v6 compatible? I don't have. I believe the boss decks are capped at 5 opponents currently. So we don't have any design plans to bring it up to 6. However, I'm sure a clever play group could come up with some house rules to to beef up the boss a little bit. Obviously, as you get larger and larger groups, each player's wait time gets a little bit longer. But yeah. So if I off the top of my head, if I was gonna try a 1v6, I'd give some health buffs, etc., to the boss to try and get things a little more even. But yeah, no, we don't have current plans for 1v6 compatibility.
Awesome. I'm very jealous. David here is saying hello from an IHOP. And I think these only in the United States. So IHOP stands for International House of Pancakes, but I think it's a US only chain, but it's sort of bit nostalgic for me. It's been around for a long time. The stories of me crying because I want to go to the House of Pancakes.
Debbie
when
loves
I was a
pancakes.
child, I love pancakes. So I hope you're having a good breakfast. I guess it's free pancake day, which I think happens once a year or something. Honey, can we go to IHOP? We actually have an IHOP down the street that opened up a few years ago. So let's see. Peter says hello. Hello, Peter from Slovakia. How are you?
Peter is the designer of Sorcerer. So when I say I'm getting together with Peter and working on stuff, Peter Schultz.
Yeah, Dustin likes the improvements in the app, and he's just curious for a friend when High Alert Heroes. There's some amazing heroes in that set. When is that going to make it into the app?
So those are coming up. I can't remember which set is next. I believe it's going to be I think Heroes is 2 sets away. So got Tech now. I think we're going to have one of the ship and base sets and then Heroes. So based on our timeline, that's probably 4 to 6 months from now for Heroes. Knock on wood. That would be my quick guess.
But we'll let the team know that your friend really, would like to know when that's going to I think we've answered all the questions and covered all the news that we had to share. Any last questions or comments before we wrap it up?
So yeah, especially curious if any Ranger players, to hear from Ranger players if you've got either this week or next week, because obviously one of our big concerns was the win ratio for a particular Ranger build, and we nerfed one of the skills and one of the abilities on that particular Ranger build. So if you enjoy playing the Ranger, interested to see how you feel about either those nerf skills or abilities, or whether you've switched to different ones. And I think that's our plumber, so I'm gonna go grab that.
Bye everyone. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next week. Hopefully we'll get this leak fixed.